All right, everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Competitive Gaming Network. I'm your host, Sergeant Merrill, and I'll be joined today by some prominent members of the gaming community. First, we have Woody's Gamertag, a Call of Duty commentator who probably needs no introduction, as he's one of the leading personalities on YouTube.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And second, we have the MarkOfJ, aka Cujo, who is an outstanding member. Is an outstanding member of the competitive scene and the winner of the Commentator Showdown, which we'll be talking about in a second. How's it going, Mark?
Good. How are y'all doing?
All right. And last but not least, we have Eric, one of the owners of GameDunzo.
How's it going, Sergeant Merrill?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Guys, it's great to have you here tonight. But before we jump into our topics, I want to take a quick second to help the viewers get orientated to what they're watching, because it might seem a little crazy at first. On the left, you're going to see some topics that we're going to be discussing in this episode, and you do have the ability to click on them to skip ahead if you want to. You'll also see a subscribe button, and we would certainly appreciate your subscription if you're interested in seeing future CGN episodes and content from the channel. I had a lot of fun designing this layout with my team, and our hope is to bring content to you guys that focuses on the more competitive aspects of our community. And for our first episode, we wanted to go over this huge event that took place over the weekend. So, guys, the Commentator Showdown that happened on Saturday featured 13 of the most popular Call of Duty commentators, brought in about 52,000 viewers to the live stream, and this was a huge event, guys. It seemed like a lot of fun. Whose idea was this, and how did it get started?
Yeah, so I think a lot of guys have had the idea of having the commentators play against each other, but it was the Game 360 and I think Fear Crads who sort of got the ball rolling this time. And I was one of the early guys that they invited on Woody's Gamertag, if you don't know. I was one of the early guys they invited to be in the competition. And then, with that, it started blowing up. Like, I know a lot of people in the Call of Duty scene, so we were able to get, like, a Sandy Ravage and a bunch of other players in this thing, and it turned out pretty well.
Now, people were commentating and saying that the prize money that was going to be taken away was taking away from the whole fun element of it. What's your response to that?
I don't know if Fear Cry and the Game 360 had the same thing in mind, but I wanted it to be a competition. Like, I had hoped that it would be people competing for a prize. If there was no prize money, everyone would have been running around with shotguns and snipers and, doing 360 kills and things like that. I like that, just about everyone in there was in it to win it. Even us guys at the bottom were doing our very best.
Now, Mark, you were actually the one that won it, so you and your $1,500 over there. What do you think about the prize money, and what are you spending it on?
Well, I'm not too sure what I'm going to spend it on yet, but I thought that providing money will just help people want to try their hardest. So that's what I did. I wanted to try my hardest, and that's pretty much my whole goal of playing. Just try my hardest, regardless if I win or not. Just play my hardest against all these great players and stuff, and just have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, I was hoping you guys could also tell me why it was set up as a free-for-all tournament.
So a free-for-all tournament, especially a 12-man free-for-all tournament, isn't perfect, right? Like, I think we all said, there were crazy spawns. There were a time when we came to life and died right away. But my question back would be, well, what's better? Do you have a better idea? If we played team deathmatch, then, shucks, a weak player on a really strong team might be doing well. You have call-outs where people start working together that might influence, an individual player's ranking beyond his own ability. The thing about free-for-all is you kind of stand on your own, and it's, while not perfect, the least imperfect thing that anyone thought of. If I was to do it again, I think a nicer idea would be to have 16 players and then break it into, like, an 8-man free-for-all.
Right, bracket it out.
Yeah,
bracket it out, take top 4, make them go 8 on 8, make them go 8 again, and instead of 12, because it got a little bit crazy.
Yeah, that was my opinion on it, because it seemed that a lot of the maps that we played on, it just felt like a cluster, and then you spawn, die, spawn, die. So I felt that if we would have had maybe eight people in it for each match, it would have been better.
Yeah.
Having said that, that spawn die thing was the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And it was 6 games, right? Like, but I finished way near the bottom of this thing, and I can blame spawns for maybe 1 game, but there were 6. The cream rose to the top. That's how it went.
Yeah. Now, Eric, there were also some issues with the stream in the beginning. How did that affect the overall outcome of its popularity?
In the beginning, we had issues with the stream when we were on live film on filmon.com, And so they try to troubleshoot the stream. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I know that when the stream started, it started with about 11,000 viewers. Half hour later, we made the switch over to Justin TV. So we did lose a lot of the viewers. At the end of the day, we were still able to get 52,000 stream views in a matter of 2 hours. So, but I do believe that we did lose a lot of the viewers because everyone who came in the beginning just kind of got frustrated and just ended up leaving.
Yeah, I actually talked to the filmon.com guys about it today, and they just did a stream with 70,000 users, and it went okay. Apparently, the problem was that they weren't able to test was, I guess, a moderator for that stream had an IP address that had some sort of, it was like blocked or in some sort of gray zone, and because of that, the stream didn't work like it was supposed to, and it was something they weren't able to test before the event. So,
yeah,
trouble.
Well, moving on, we saw a lot of different strategies being used in the tournament. Some obviously were more effective than others. MarkOfJ, as the winner of the tournament, let's start with you. What was your strategy going into this thing, and how did it change as the tournament went on?
Well, my first strategy was to be really aggressive right at the start and just try to figure out where the spawns were because I don't play too much free for all, but I don't know, it comes down to the point where once you start dying a lot, you start remembering where the spawns are. So that's pretty much what I decided to do, just remember the spawns, then try to figure out which spot I wanted to be at, and then just play aggressive. That's pretty much what I did the whole entire time. Well, at least I tried to do it, so.
And Woody, what was your strategy?
So yeah, I can tell you how to lose. First of all, in hindsight, I shouldn't have used the AK-74U. I chose that gun because I thought everyone was going to be up close, and that up close it was one of the best weapons in the game. But the FAMAS doesn't give up that much, and in hindsight, I probably should have used that instead. The other thing was, rather than make the best of wherever I did spawn, I would tend to have an area of the map that I'd rather be. And getting there was just so difficult in a 12-man free-for-all that I'd catch like 4 deaths and then either give up on the idea or finally get there. And
yeah,
it would have been much smarter to, one, use a FAMAS so I can kill people long and or far and near, and two, wherever I do spawn, just make the best of it. There'll be other people there. Leave your spawn by 10 feet. Someone will show up right behind you. You'll get traffic. Just stop running across the map. It'll get you killed.
Yeah. Now I have to say it. You're known for coining the phrase, always control the engagement. What were some ways that you tried to do that in this competition, and what were some of the difficulties?
It's not that easy against the MarkOfJ. In general, I'm much better at doing that in objective-based games, right? Moving from cover to cover, advancing the map, owning 2/3 of a domination map, things like that are, is what I know. In free-for-all, it's not really like that. You don't really know that spawn is in front of you. It's everywhere. It's in front. It's behind. It's to your side. And I didn't control Jack in this game.
Yeah.
If I play again, and I'd love to, but I'm also willing to give up my spot if there's like a better player who earns it, or a better draw or whatever. But if I play again, I think I can be a little smarter next time, and I'd love to try and redeem myself.
Yeah. Well, moving on. As I'm sure many of you have already heard, David Vonderhaar, a developer over at Treyarch, has announced that many changes are coming to the FAMAS. Right now, we know that the hipfire spread, the recoil, center speed, they're all being altered, and the prominence of this weapon in competitive gaming is in jeopardy. How do you think this is going to change things when playing competitively?
Well, it's just going to open the doors for more weapons. You'll see the AUG, the Galil, Commando. You'll just see a variety of weapons rather than the FAMAS and the AK-74U. So I think it'll be more entertaining as well too. You just get to see a variety of weapons. It won't just be, oh, everybody's using the FAMAS red dot or AK-74U. It'll just be more entertaining to watch, and you'll get to see if the competitive players are they're still good if they don't use the FAMAS and stuff. So I'm just really excited to see what they do with it.
And what do you think is going to take its place? Do you think any weapon is going to take the place of the FAMAS in competitive gameplay?
I think the Galil will.
The Galil?
Really?
Yeah.
It could be. A lot of guys are saying the AUG, because on paper the stats are about the same for those two weapons. Mm-hmm. But in my hands, they're not, though. I do better with the FAMAS than the AUG, so we'll wait and see. But I think it's good they're making the change. I'm glad they're nerfing it, because gameplay is a little more entertaining to watch when you change the guns up. So nerf the big one. But something else will emerge as the best weapon, and probably everyone will gravitate to it.
So do you guys agree that this was a necessary change?
Yeah, I do.
It's
Because
a good idea.
I'm tired of seeing the FAMAS and dying by the FAMAS. So
Yep.
I just want to see what happens.
Okay. Well, moving on, the popularity of the Commentator Showdown definitely brings the opportunity to host another one in the near future. Would you guys be interested in participating? And what do you think could make it better?
Do you want to go first, Mark? You're the reigning champ. Aren't you obligated to come?
Yeah, I'll go. Of course, I'll go.
Yeah, Mark has to defend his title, so he's definitely going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, Mark, what would you change in it? What do you think could make it a better tournament?
Well, maybe the brackets and everybody. Maybe each round everybody uses a certain weapon. I got that idea from Impressador, but everybody uses the same weapons maybe rather than everybody uses FAMAS, and that's pretty much it. See smaller channels in it because there's a lot of good players that aren't popular and stuff. So I would like to see a lot of smaller channels in it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask Woody and the MarkOfJ. A lot of people were tweeting GameDunzo asking who sent out the invites. Some people were saying that Hutch wasn't invited, and some other YouTubers were invited. And I believe the first event that was organized, the invites. I actually saw one of Woody's videos, and he was inviting a whole lot of other people, asking viewers to actually send them a tweet and invite them into the actual commentator, but they never responded. So there was plenty of other guys that were invited, for the record. Just a lot of these guys didn't respond on time or for whatever reason, right, Woody? What was the scenario with that, with other guys not being invited?
Yeah, it's just like you said, right? Some guys didn't reply, maybe because they weren't interested, or it'd be weird to think they didn't get the message, right? Because there were like thousands of people writing it, but they probably didn't have an interest. Sometimes people would say, like, "Where was this guy?" And it's like, well, that guy was invited. You can ask him, not me.
Right. Yep.
Hutch, I actually didn't invite Hutch, and I wish that I had, because Hutch is a strong player, and he would have been a nice guy to have to the tournament. So I'm sure that next time we'll offer an invitation, and based on the fact that he wished he was there, I bet he takes it. So if it comes down to I have to give him my spot to get him in there, then I'll do that.
What do you think of the idea of having 32 guys next time if we do have another one?
Oh, 32?
Yeah, having maybe 16. Maybe start off with 16.
I don't know. I don't think there should be more than 8 in a game. Well, one thing that might add some variety is I think it'd be fun to watch some gun game. Where you go through 20 different guns on your way up.
Yeah.
I think that might, instead of everybody play with one gun, like MarkOfJ talked, and we'll figure it out. But instead of everyone playing, you're like, all right, this is going to be your stoner game. How about we do the gun game, and everyone runs through and shows their.
That would definitely be interesting.
Yeah,
really would.
What about the comments that everyone has been asking for? Woody asking for a Modern Warfare 2 commentator showdown.
Oh, that'd be neat. I tweeted that too after the thing, and as a way to get some variety in it. Maybe we do Modern Warfare 2 one of these times. Maybe next time. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to. Maybe we can get the list of competitors and then, talk amongst ourselves and figure out what we want to play.
Mark, you were going to say something?
Oh no, I just said that'd be a good idea if we did Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I in particular want to watch Sandy in Modern Warfare 2. The Modern Warfare 2 and Sandy Ravage are, built for each other. He did really well on that game.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, guys, we're coming up on the end of our first episode here. Do you have anything we want to put out before we end it?
Thanks for having me on, man. Good times.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed our first episode of the Competitive Gaming Network, and we'd love to hear your feedback. If you have something or someone you'd like to see on this series, be sure to let us know in the comments section. But that's all I have here, guys, for episode 1. This is Sergeant Merrill, out here.